side, left curbstone, and to the small white sign on the right side, 93, steering in left gently to the 6 kilometer sign in the bottom, left curbstone, right curb, left curb, to the right curb, back of the right curb, turn into the left curb, the right curb, the right curbstone, on the brakes, right side, turn in, left over the left curbstone, stay close left on the brakes, and...
Good morning, comrades. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Nürburgring Nordschleife, quite literally. And it's actually one of the few times when I say good morning, it is actually morning. And this also means that unlike yesterday, today I made it to the track before sunrise. And before we proceed with our track walk, I want to share these amazing shots with you first. Yesterday I showed you Nürburgring's forgotten or hidden picnic spot. Now with the sunrise, it's the ultimate breakfast picnic spot. Something that I haven't shown you in yesterday's vlog, by the way, are those black lins. They commemorate the passing away of Sabine Schmitz last year. You can find them at many marshal posts, so for example here at 85 at Schwedenkreuz. We will see a lot more as we walk along. And also for the newer audiences, I have not mentioned yesterday the reason why this section is called Schwedenkreuz or Swedish Cross. We can see over there a cross that has been put by Swedish soldiers back in 1638 as commemorating of slaying the mayor of Carmrade. Kind of dark piece of history of the Nürburgring, but as we walk along I will tell you a lot of more dark details. So yesterday we finished our video here, maybe a few meters down there, which is Aremberg, after coming all the way from Sabine Schmitz Curve and yeah, ending up here at Aremberg. So today I will take you down to Foxhole and of course Adenauer Forst, Metzgersfeld. And also, like yesterday and the day before yesterday, we need to see how much of the actual track we will cover in this segment, because sometimes you just end up staying and talking about some details that you otherwise would not spot if you are driving pretty fast. For example, Argentinian flag. That's very interesting here in Aremberg. We can quickly look at, yeah, if we can find some artifacts here or some interesting things, but I think Argentinian flag is as interesting as it's going to get. Now we have here, of course, also gravel trap, and I must say that it actually works quite well, especially if you miss the braking point and you lose control all the way up there and you may come sliding here between 100 and 200 kilometers per hour. As you can see, actually not that many new barriers are placed here, because again, the gravel trap is actually doing its work quite well. And if you manage to hit the barrier after sliding all the way from Schwedenkreuz, well, you've done something exceptional, I would say. All right, let's proceed towards, of course, Foxhole. As we're walking down towards Foxhole, of course, you all recognize the famous Yokohama Bridge, but its actual name is Poststrasse, which translates to the Mail Street. So what I can only assume is that the mail was being delivered through this street or bridge from Adenauer to Nürburgring and other locations. Other than that, it's also very important to know that you should not drive underneath it with a vehicle that is taller than 4.6 meters. And except for that, there's not much more I can actually tell you about. Well, there's actually, of course, a zebra and, well, pedestrian crossing. And a good reference point when you come out of Aremberg here and you start your descent is to aim over there towards the Marshal Post 93. One thing I'm gonna say, actually I'm not gonna say anything, you can tell me your own opinion. I mean, like putting graffiti on the track, which we do not see here, well, of course here, is one thing, but on actual structures and making this obvious which group you represent, I don't know, I mean, yeah. In any case, as mentioned, coming from the bridge, you aim towards the Marshal Point 93 over there. A small white sign, which is actually quite visible when you're traveling with the car. But more importantly, you have here FIA fence. And those fences you can actually quite often use as a reference point to which you need to aim. Those fences are there, of course, to protect the marshals. What I actually want to show to you is you have this fence here, but the track is going that way. So why is this fence over there on the right? Because it indicates the ideal line is actually towards there, that you need to be here at the apex towards the downhill descent. This means that the ideal trajectory is this way, and those fences there are to, again, protect the marshals, but also the cars from flipping over the barrier and downhill like into the forest, because this is their travel direction. We will see more of these fences, and well, I will provide you the visual explanation as we go along. Someone had to make some emergency braking here. Yeah, and this black line, but in this case it's just the black tape, is also similar to the Sabine Schmidt's commemoration. After the marshal post 93, or the high fence, you aim straight towards the 6-kilometer sign in a straight line. The very important characteristic of Foxhole is, although it is, first of all, of course, a descent with lots of twisty bends, it is actually, like I would say, 2 straightaways. So you go to the left curb, right curb, in a straight line between those two towards the 6-kilometer sign, and once you're there, you turn in slightly towards the left curb and right curb in the bottom, which I'm going to show to you in a second. We came straight from marshal post 93, and again, this is a straight line there to the 6-kilometer sign, and here again you can see a fence of a marshal post 94, because you aim to the sign, but well, actually to the curbstone in a straight line to the bottom of Foxhole, where we are proceeding right now. And one thing, some people find it dangerous corner or challenging corner, and yes, of course, it's a very, very high-speed corner towards 250, maybe over 250 kilometers per hour when you hit the compression point, and every high-speed corner is of course challenging. And in addition, you have also quite a bumpy section, you have also a descent, you have also a compression all the way up there, and the main challenge is actually, well, it's coming afterwards. What I've witnessed from many of my, I wouldn't say students, well, customers, so people that I'm driving with and who are inexperienced, and we progress slowly and increase speed. So let's go there first, and I will explain to you what actually makes it quite tricky. There's actually one more thing I want to add, is you see that it's actually also quite a bumpy section, and over there is actually a bump, which is actually pretty much a jump. Your car will actually take off while you are descending. And the issue is, like, when it's wet and your car is taking off and goes down, and if you have a slight direction change or even not direction change, you will most likely lose traction, especially with rear-wheel driven car. So in the wet, high speed here, like again, this small detail can catch you much off guard, and you will end up, well, becoming one of the reasons why this barrier is new, for example, although it is pretty much a straightaway as mentioned. But here on this side you have some new parts because of that small bump. And just like every crash scene investigation, here's another proof. Some glass, some light. You can probably find some other things down there. Let's just put it here and not on the track, because imagine someone going off the track here with 200 kilometers per hour and getting a puncture. We don't want to see that happen. So fence, marshal post, straight line towards the right curbstone, aiming towards it, and at the very end of it, after the marshal post 95, you should aim towards the left curbstone. As we can see here, well, there is a replaced barrier there. I don't know, well, something very exceptional must have happened, but overall those are old barriers, so not much can happen here. The trouble starts on top of it. So as mentioned, from the end of the curb, aim towards the left curb, and at the same time, not sure if you can see it from here on camera, there is a right curb. So left curb, straight for the left curb, and the right curb, and that's where it gets actually quite tricky. So the bottom of Foxhole, depending on what car you're driving, for example, GT3 RSMR does 270 kilometers per hour almost, and you have a lot of things happening, compression, turning point at the same time. And the issue that I was talking about when I'm driving with people who are progressing with their driving skills, they start slowly, and then at some point I would start pushing them and saying like, okay, go faster, don't lift, go flat, just trust yourself, I believe in you, it is all good. And then you get so excited, so overwhelmed, because you're like, oh my god, I'm doing 250 kilometers per hour through here, I managed, it's great, it's amazing. And the issue comes, and you already can start seeing from here, actually, is that, well, first of all, a lot of new barriers are here. You can see the changing colors of the barriers. And this has to do, of course, with the directional change, because you are going straight for the most part, and then you actually need to position yourself next to the right curbstone. So there is actually a turn-in. And at the beginning of the right curb, you need to go on the brake. Really. And the white sign on the right, the small sign that we'll get closer to in a bit, is a nice turning point. But again, the biggest issue is actually that people get overwhelmed by the type of speed that they're doing, and so euphoric that they actually forget to A, position the car right, and B, very important, to brake, and brake hard. And actually it's a double braking zone. So here you brake first towards the entrance of the exit of Foxhole. And after that you need to brake again very hard for Adenauer Forst. On one hand, it's probably easier said than done, but I think if you understand those basics and just don't get overexcited, it is quite easy, I would say, to survive Foxhole. Maybe not easy, but manageable. And then as you are on the right side, next to the right curbstone, you can see it's a perfectly straight line, braking. And as mentioned, this white motorcycle sign is a good reference point for a turn-in. It's not perfect, it's maybe like 1 or 2 meters off, but for a beginner it's nice to know like, okay, I'm here or vaguely here, I should start turning in towards the Marshall Post 98. And it is a blind corner, especially when you're on an angle traveling uphill. You need to have some sort of visual reference point, and again, this white sign is quite a good one. And then the question comes, should you take the curbstone? And I would say definitely this is one of the few curbs on the whole track that you absolutely should take. Whew, and I'm getting actually already out of breath. Definitely need to work on my stamina. But my walker excuse and a driver excuse is that we're climbing and talking at the same time. So, Marshall Post 98, curbstone, can get a very cool picture, especially if you're going pretty fast, from one of the photographers of Race Tracker. And as mentioned, the exit speed is close to 200 kilometers per hour, probably. When you brake here briefly from 270, if you're going very fast with GT3 RSMR, 200 over the curb. And then comes the second dangerous part of getting overwhelmed. So you have a very tight corner, you really have to go on the brakes again to make it. And otherwise you will be one of the reasons why those barriers over there are new, like these ones, because people just simply underestimate the tightness of the corner because they just simply get overexcited. I made the bottom of Foxhole with 270 or 250. I made the exit, but yeah, there you need to brake again. One more time from a different perspective, a bit further down the track. Over there, Marshall Post 98 with a curbstone, straight line, braking towards the middle-ish and then turning in towards the right curbstone. If you go too fast again, you'll be one of the reasons why these barriers are new and shiny. And you can kind of run off to the outside towards the left curb. And here, to gain actually a lot of speed, or lap time is better said, you should actually still accelerate. It's a very small section over there towards Adenauer Forst, but yeah, really keep it flat and you will gain quite some time. And of course you probably know this section, Adenauer Forst, as one of the fail compilation sections, because it's a very tight section to the left, but the visual illusion that is happening here is you have this barrier going and it's actually continues going straight while the track is going to the left, so everyone is going straight on the grass. A good reference point here is you have there sort of a blue heart on the barrier. I will show to you in a second. You can aim straight towards it, and that could be your turn-in point to the left curb.
And turning in right curbstone to the outside, to the right side, brake, stay right to the blue heart.
Another interesting detail, we have here a no parking sign, because in the past here you actually had, again, like a picnic area, a spectator area where people could park up and enjoy the track. And to get from one side of the track to another, you have also pedestrian crossing from one side of a spectator area to the other. In any case, blue heart over there, we're closer to it now so you can see what I mean. Good reference point to go towards it. You can also stay a bit longer to the right, turn into the left, and it's a chicane, so it goes left and right. This also means that you should actually sacrifice the first corner, the first left-hander, because after the right-hander you have a very long straightaway, or I would say one of the longer straightaways in comparison, and it's very important to get high speed for Metzgesfeld turn-in. So again, if you would have traveled straight line by just visually following this barrier over here, you'll be thinking, track goes straight. Nope. There is some grass and you might end up spinning out. Best case scenario, you can definitely damage some of your suspension components, because it's quite a high curbstone that you should definitely be avoiding. Stay on the left side longer, because after that you can have like a slingshot towards this long straightaway. So from a left curb, some people decide to stay a bit more on the middle, which is actually also quite good, but it's important to get the exit right. It's a very important corner, very underestimated corner when it comes to its importance. And I think it is actually pretty much it for today's video. Though we covered only 3 sections, Aremberg, Foxhole and Adenauer Forst, it actually ended up being quite a long video with hopefully full of interesting details for you guys. So I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for tomorrow, where we are going to proceed from Adenauer Forst towards Metzgesfeld. So have a good day and see you tomorrow.